Isn't it nice to be the first to know exactly what's happening in the Denver housing market update? Justin Martin bringing you the top 3 indicators on what's happening with housing when it comes to house price appreciation, supply, demand, and how those 3 things come together to let us know what to expect. Well, we know this time of the year, in May's edition, the sun's coming out. I got a little bit too much of it. However, when we dive into what are people getting when it comes to the housing market, as you can see, we saw a 3% month over month median change in the price from 660 to 680, which still puts us at that 18% year over year number. But again, another month of 3% change. So as people continue to look at the indicators of what's happening in real estate and what will we continue to see, I've already told you, we still probably have about 4 more years of good housing appreciation. Hopefully not 18%, I get it, but most likely greater than the nation, pretty heavily predicted greater than the nation, somewhere around 8 to 10%. So let's also dive right into then what's happening in supply. As you can see, the nice part is we did see 30% more active listings from April to May. That was a great sign from what was happening in March to what we experienced in April. Now, as you look at the overall, what does that really mean when it comes to months of supply? And remember, if you look at just a simple definition, what's going to happen with housing appreciation is going to be based off of where are you at in supply and demand. We know demand based off population, net migration, and job market changes is going to remain. People are not going to no longer want to live in our great state or transfer their money and or equity to other areas of it. So as you look at months of supply, we're at 0.6 months of inventory. And remember, a traditional seller's market, 4 months of inventory. We've been sitting at 2 months of inventory since about 2017. So it took us a very long time to get down to 0.6 months. When you look at nationwide, the last time we were at 6 months of inventory was during the housing crisis or leading up to it. So the reality is locally here at 0.6 months and the seller's market, a balanced market is 6 months of inventory. Anybody waiting for something to change to getting into the market is most likely going to experience, unfortunately, higher rates, higher values, and less affordability based off the current areas that they're looking. We have great indicators for several more years of good housing appreciation here and matching that with affordability based off of where current people were and or where people are today getting started in their housing adventure. So now let's dive right into the average days on market and average list price to close price, which would then be the demand. So we obviously already covered appreciation, 3% month over month, 18% year over year. We should see that with rising rates decelerate, which should be a good thing to allow more people to get into the market. But here's what I mean by demand. The average days on market went down 30% from March to April, meaning even with all the people in the market knowing that the rates have gone up, is that we saw the average days on market went from 11 days to 8 days, meaning all the homes listed, average time to contract 8 days. And guess what? Surprisingly, with the change in rates, we saw the close price to list price, you'll look at this slide right here, went from 106.5%, which felt like an all-time high in that of March, to actually 7%. So the strategy when you look at being in the market, if you have a ceiling or you're capped in affordability, know that the price you're seeing most likely on average is going to be a minimum of 7% greater than what it's listed at. Now remember, that doesn't mean overpaying. The majority of these homes are coming in at that value appraised. Give you a good example. Just last month, we had some good friends, dear clients of ours. They offered on a property of $825 and it went for $1 million. However, when the bank appraised that property, it appraised at $1 million. And why is that? Is because if you looked at the comparable homes around that area, that price was much lower of a list price, which is a strategy some sellers are taking, and their agents is list low, drive price high. But remember, don't get stuck on price, get stuck on strategy. Follow your strategy, stay safe within your barriers and your boundaries of what you can afford, and just know from me to you, I'm okay going on record, providing certainty, hopefully removing some anxiety, and anybody who has fear. The housing market is stable, it is strong, but you are correct. Affordability is a challenge, and demand requires that you work with people who have strategic decision making to help you find success in the market, and also very high skills to compete in it. So from me to you, as always, love providing you a level of market expertise. And until you'll be the first to know next month, I look forward to seeing you guys soon.